What's up, gente? What's up, Raza? I want to talk about something really quick, just kind of an update on the news on what's happening. And that's that Trump is on his way to basically stealing the election. This is not the first time I mentioned this on this YouTube podcast. It's not the first time I give the warning. It's just happening every day in front of our faces. And it's gotten to a point where Trump today, this morning, for example, gutted an agency of all people who would basically oppose any corruption during elections. These are independent sitting members of government bodies that basically monitor elections, and they try to call the strikes and the fouls and whatever, the balls, whatever. They try to do it clean and they try to do it right. It's not always right. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these, but the truth is they're independent. They're supposed to be independent for a reason. So this morning he gutted this board that's left, a board of Democrats and Republicans. He gutted them. If anybody, all Democrats, for example, not a fan of Democrats to begin with, but gutted them, and one Republican. This comes at a time when he's already, and they already have a law, or at least an executive order, where supposedly the mail will not comply. States that are not working with Trump, supposedly the mail will not comply in delivering voter or counting voters mail-in voter votes, which a lot of people, who are young people, color workers, people send in their vote. So he's trying to suppress the vote by going after them, and he's already got that in his pocket. Then he's also continued his fight, said that the 2020 election was rigged, and that he was cheated. And so he's been sending the FBI, including last year, he sent out Tulsi Gabbard, who was supposed to be in charge of an intelligence agency that oversees foreign intelligence, to go find supposedly stolen votes in Georgia. This comes in the on the heels of him basically demanding that states turn over the voter rolls. That means information on all voters. Why? Why? Why should states give him that? Well, because they're going to claim fraud. They're going to say this person, that person, they shouldn't have voted. That they're illegals. That they're a criminal. That they can't vote. Right? And it's not the first time that's happened. George W. Bush, in many ways, in Florida, that's what happened, is that they started, poaching, getting rid of black voters, Latino voters who would not support it, Trump, Bush, George W. Bush. So this is not new, but he's gone to the extent now where he's fired and gutting these independent agencies. Sadly, the Supreme Court gave him the permission to do this just last week, with a decision saying that he can do that after 94 years, I believe, of where president could do that, because they're trying to keep the office of the presidency separate and independent from them being able to interfere, whether it be Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. You're not supposed to interfere with these agencies who are supposed to do an honest job, vote counters, things like that. But nope, he's taking it to that extent. And I bring this to your attention, everybody, because along with the shooting of another person by ICE, this Mexican man in Texas, right? Along with his refusal to sign a bill that says that, basically the housing market should be affordable, available. Even Republicans and Democrats joined in on this bill. He refuses to sign that bill. And along with this failing war in Iran, where gas prices are going back up, where he's been trying to manipulate the market, bully the negotiators or negotiations. Along with this failing war, this man is looking for any reason to stay in office, any reason to steal the elections. And whether he claims that, for example, the Mexican man in Texas was going after ICE agents with his car, which we found out this morning, that's a lie. Whether he claims that Iran is secretly trying to assassinate him, and if they were, I have a whole take on that. Why not? And that's basically that they would make him a martyr. They know about martyrs, and that would rally people around Trump. Along with his lies about how this war is going great and prices are not going up, all these are lies meant to keep him in power and for him to invoke these war powers, to invoke these civil war era laws, posse comitatus acts, where he can stay in power and use the military to stay in power by suspending the Bill of Rights by suspending the Constitution. And something that, yes, even Abraham Lincoln did at a time during the war, right? Civil War. Well, he's going to try everything in his power to do this. He's going to lie, and he's gutting these agencies. Unfortunately, what's sad is that the Supreme Court gave him this right now. So as he guts these agencies, now he has more leeway to be a dictator and a king, and that's what he's always wanted. That's what he's always wanted. And I got news for a lot of white people out there who still support him. He hates you, white people. Trump hates you. White people, Trump hates you. I hope you're listening. He hates you, a lot of you, because you're poor, a lot of you because you're on the street, whether you're homeless, you're struggling. He hates you because you don't look beautiful. You know, that whole thing, like you have to look great. That's why we have the Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense. This guy is only in there because he was a Fox News reporter on weekends and his hair looked great. He only chooses the people that he says should look good, including the women who speak for him. So, white people, he hates you because you're poor and you're dirty and you're struggling just like the rest of us. Another reason white people he hates you is because if you're not poor, dirty, or if you're rich and you look good, a lot of you who disagree with them, you shouldn't do that. According to him, you should be bowing down to his every call. He hates you because you don't bow down to him. He hates you, a lot of you, because you're independent thinkers and you're critical and you're willing to criticize him, but he still hates you. So, all the way around, white people, he hates you. Trump couldn't stand you, and he's doing everything in his power to stay in power. A lot of you, many of you, I would say, still support him, still vote for him, right? White supremacy is still around, and what he's going to do is going to hurt you too. So, I put this out there as a warning. I put this out there as a call that this man is crazy, is going to stay in power, but unfortunately, it's going to come at the expense of a lot of people, including immigrants, including poor people, and including poor white people, by the way. So, for you all who are paying attention, this is a warning, not a final warning. We still got some time before the elections in November, but he's up to something really bad. He's up to something really bad, and today, the news that he's gutted an independent agency that oversees elections to make sure that the presidents, whoever it is, don't interfere. When he gutted this agency today, that's an example of how far he's going to go, and he's going to go far. So, with that said, hate to end this with some bad news, but that's my take. All right, I'm out of here. Ho.